Okay. So I wrote this piece and I said, Barstool's going to be $1 billion brand if basically you don't sell too early.
Correct.
Right. And the whole idea was just you have the fan base. And it was so obvious early on. Like if you have the relationship with the fans, you win because you can create companies, sell it through, products, sell it through, whatever. At some point, you decide, one, to sell, right? A piece, not the whole thing, but a piece. And then two, you do it where now you're focusing all your energy on somebody else's product. It's not something that you guys created. Talk through like why do that versus just go start your own sports book plus a bunch of other stuff and put it through the distribution.
You mean here with like Penn?
With Penn, yeah.
Well, we could never start our own sports book. We'd never get licensed. We'd never get access. All that shit would just never happen. So
you needed the partner to do it.
Needed the partner, and they were the perfect partner. And again, it is a question I get asked a lot. But when you're in our shoes, and I've been fucking grinding at this thing for 17 years, I made money, but it's all relative. Like I'm obviously have done well, but when you look at the Chernin deal, it's not like I was obscenely rich. Like I had money, but that wasn't like, oh my God. And even now,
it's not like now where you can tweet at Celebrity Net Worth, hey, updated the 200 million.
Right. On paper. But so this was, and it's not as if we have this waterfall of offers and meetings when you're going through and nobody's making an offer. It's like, well, is anyone going to get an offer? And do I want to do this for the next 20 years to build it up? I always thought sports gambling, it's how we started. Yeah. The second the legislation in the United States changed to make it legal, I'm like, okay, this is our moment. And we spent close to a year trying to figure out the best fit. And Penn was by far and away the best partner that presented itself, from Jay Snowden, who I love, the CEO, to them understanding what we do and having faith and believing in it. It was almost a no-brainer. I mean, we named our price. There was no negotiation with Penn. And I thought it was crazy because based on FanDuel.
How'd you come up with the price?
I didn't. Like the Chernin guys, as you said, are fierce negotiators. So if they're naming it, I'm like, okay. But they named it, and Penn was like, yep, that's it, done. They didn't negotiate. It was nothing. As long as they felt we were aligned, and we are, because it's not like I got paid. It's like a lot of stock and all that shit.
How much did you take in stock versus cash?
It was like, it was 55-45.
55 cash or stock?
55 stock, 45. And that's like good. Different for me. It's like the Barstool people are different than the Chernin people.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was a great deal. Now, when the stock goes up and bumps pre-corona, it's like, oh, we just made them a gazillion dollars in 10 seconds because Wall Street reacted obviously super favorably to the deal. And that's when the other companies we met with, who I like I obviously, it's like the Brady Six when he's crying. Like, I get a chip on my shoulder. Like, I'm meeting with these guys who know us. It's like, you're not even going to make an offer. Are you fucking an idiot? And they've probably had to spend on talent now more than they would have spent just to buy us because we put them in a box. It's like, oh, fuck. Like,
well, what is it? FanDuel did the Pat McAfee deal, right?
Yep. On top, they're doing
all of them.
Yes, because okay. And they missed. And I don't know if they'd say they missed but they missed because I actually really like the FanDuel guys and the ones running it. It's like if they made an offer that was competitive, it's like, okay, we can win with these guys.
I feel like everyone in the gambling sports fantasy world are people like Barstool, right? Like the type of person is so similar. So the people who are running those companies, there's a very cultural fit with what you guys have done. Ooh, maybe not.
Not at the top.
Okay. That's different.
Yeah, maybe down below. But that's why we're going to be like, I've met with them all. They don't, they're not.
Like how bad does this get in the sense of fast forward 5 years, the Barstool Sportsbook versus all these other guys? Like, how bad of a massacre is it?
Oh, I don't know, because they have such a gigantic lead. They have great tech. They have a huge lead. And there's no industry that I'm aware of where there's like one guy. I mean, it doesn't matter what there is. There's multiple players and they're competitive, and in a way it can help each other. But nobody outside, like, I guess the cable company and telephone, well, even there's multiple, but you can only get one cable company in your house. Other than that, there'll be multiple players. Like FanDuel and DraftKings are not going anywhere.
Yeah, agreed.
We're different. Like, those two, to me, are one of those. I don't know what'll happen. They're identical companies to me. They're both out of the daily fantasy, the big databases. They're going to try to win with offers and plays. No one cares. No one's going to wear a FanDuel hat or a draft as much as they try. That's never going to happen. But They're going to be there. And I saw one interesting stat when I was looking at downloads, and it's like our downloads and what we did in Pennsylvania and handle all that didn't seem to take away from the others. And I can believe that.
Oh, interesting. So it was additive to the
Correct,
overall.
because we have our audience who may not have been. So, it could help both markets. I could, and who knows, anybody who thinks I have insider knowledge, like you came in and I'm like, well, Penn was down 10%. They did this stock offering. I had no idea that was coming. And I have so much Penn stock, even beyond like the deal.
You know why they don't tell you, right?
Because insider trading.
No, because telling you wouldn't be bad because you're an employee. But then you would go sell it and you get yourself in trouble.
Correct, exactly. So
they basically know you better than you know yourself.
They protect me, but it's still so they told me just late last night so I wouldn't be like stunned by the news. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm so confident in myself and what we do here that I just keep buying it as it goes. Like I'll bet on myself 100. So when he told me that, I would never know this if I wasn't doing the day trader. Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh, stock's gonna get killed. Like not because Penn. Anytime a company does this, stock gets killed. I've seen it. Like I've owned stocks. I'm like, what the fuck is it down? And then people are like, oh, they did an offering. It doesn't generally last. It comes back. But when he told me that, it's like I'm sitting here I'm like, all right, you motherfucker. Like I didn't say it. It's like I'm gonna get murdered tomorrow. And it's like I'm gonna have to wake up all these people. And sure enough, it did. They buried some good stats, but yeah, it's
Hold on, before we talk about the stock stuff, you guys launched the sportsbook in Pennsylvania this past weekend. Mm-hmm. You outperformed downloads for all the other ones. Did you guys have to spend money to drive that, or is that all organic, just putting it through the distribution?
All organic, which to me...
Which is the big advantage that you guys have. Yeah.
So that is the story, and that's why even the way they did this release, which they can't tell me, like the press release and all that, I feel like they should talk to me because understand marketing, I feel like, better than they do. Like it's stock offering, and then at the bottom, it like had the stats. And the stats, and people will twist them. People don't like me will say they're bad, they're good. It was like, I think I have it. It's like 30,000.
Yeah, it was like 30,000 downloads.
Downloads in Pennsylvania, 11 million handle, like 24,000 registrations.
It's really, really impressive.
There's 10 existing companies, sportsbooks in Pennsylvania with a huge lead on us. We know where it's like a race that is a 10-mile race, and the other companies are 5 miles in, and we're just starting. There's no other company in the world who could have that dent with $0 spent. We didn't spend a cent. So
when you guys go to market this, how much is this just you send a message to everyone here and you're like, hey, we're launching this, like, go promote it, versus it's specifically like, okay, we're going to promote it on this show. We're going to promote it on this show. Like how strategic is this?
It's pretty just promote it however you see fit. And
that's what it looks like, which makes it so much more valuable.
Yep. And that is how it is. And it's a natural, because our history is gambling. And then I was saying, like, extrapolate it, take a state like Michigan where it is not legal yet. And that's like, I went to school there. We're huge in the Midwest. Penn has one of the nicest casinos there, the Greek, which is like, I think they're nicest Las Vegas style casino. And all of a sudden everyone's at the starting line at the same time. Mm-hmm. Well, we're going to cause real damage there. So not everyone's totally understanding that. I guess some people do, some people don't. But Pennsylvania was as encouraging, I think, as we could possibly expect it to be. And like the stock offering thing, again, it's like we're not, unless I'm being strictly lied to, which I know I'm not, that's money is not going to people's hands. We're using it as it was, I said, to give me like guns, ammunition, so we can start spending. Yeah. So